closer to punch their ticket to the tropics in the national championship game in Miami a week from Monday. 2nd and 3 after the penalty. Lacey at the middle. Lacey's in the clear. It's a foot race. Reaching for the end zone is Marty Brown, and Miami goes back on top. Tony at space. Malachi Tony still running. Touchdown Miami. Again, the Canes bring pressure. Chandler's delivers. Touchdown Ole Miss. Don't find right. Rebels back on top. Three receivers flat to the left. Becca's looking that way. And still looking. Takes off running. Carson back with his legs. What a drive.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Produced by Colton Little.
Leave it to the Dolphins to be groundbreaking in something stupid that's hated.
With Ty Richardson.
I take pride in being a 3-star.
This is The Morning Rush.
You're a 4-star, Ty.
Thank you, Colton. You think one of those Cavener twins is now regretting her decision to break up with Carson Beck, who could potentially win a national championship a week from Monday night? What a finish. What a game last night in Glendale, Arizona, between the Miami Hurricanes and the Ole Miss Rebels. Miami back to where they've been numerous times, the national championship game, awaiting their opponent later on tonight between the Ducks and the Hoosiers, hoping for a similar type of outcome. I'm cheering, obviously, for Indiana. I think that if you listen to this program, it's pretty easy to pick that up. But if you are a college football fanatic, like many of us are, you don't have any dog in the fight, or maybe you hate Ole Miss, or maybe you still have some ill will towards the Hurricanes from that game back in the day, or when they came to, I think it was Little Rock, and just pounded you. Just what a college football game last night, Colton.
It was. And when Miami is good, it feels like college football is better. Obviously, they're one of the more storied organizations and schools in all of college football. And so for them to come back to the pinnacle of all of college football, get a chance to play in their home city in Miami, that's where the championship game is such a cool opportunity for them. And I'm a big Cristobal fan. I think he's the right type of coach. It's really cool that he gets to do that for the Hurricanes. So it was a great ball game last night. I really thought that Trinidad Chambliss was going to pull some magic, pull a rabbit out of his hat one last time. That kid is really, really good. And I think that he'll have a long career in the National Football League as well. So it was an exciting game last night. It's one of those where if you finish and you played NCAA back in the day, it gives you that message, or you just played an ESPN Instant Classic. It's ranked number 4 or whatever, and it has all the points for just how good that game was. And it came down to the wire. Like you said, the 7th-year quarterback, Carson Beck, a man that has been dragged through the media circus many times for his pay rate, for his choice of companion off the field, all types of different things. And for him to be able to lead his team to the championship game is a really good story. And he had all the room in the world to scamper that one in last night. And good for Sid the Sloth and the Miami Hurricanes.
HR guy says, say it with me, Lane was right. I don't know if last night was an indication or not that he was right. I do think that as he was watching that game last night, secretly, this is how he was acting.
Time to cast the stone.
So senseless. Roger. Oh!
Anyone pick up that movie reference? That's Will Ferrell as, is it Chaz?
Wow! The meatloaf!
Yeah, in Wedding Crashers, where he's faking after crashing a funeral. That's what I felt Lane Kiffin was acting like last night, that he felt bad for Chambliss. He felt bad for some of those other guys, but secretly he is like, I really hope my former DC doesn't take this team to the national championship, because it doesn't make me look as good.
Look, if Pete Golding won last night, I was ready to come in here and say that Pete Golding is the best coach in Ole Miss history, because he's won 3 playoff games. So unfortunately, things didn't work out for him, and Lane gets to come out on top of that, but he's kind of bitter.
Well, I know that we've kind of moved on to basketball season here, being that Arkansas basketball is a perennial contender for the SEC. Football season did not go where we wanted it to go, but we're still talking football, so you can call it a Football Friday, Fast Break Friday. We'll even talk some baseball this morning, a little Fastball Friday. It's all brought to you by QC Kinetics. You want to start the year moving, not hurting. And if joint pain's holding you back, there's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, without putting your life on pause. They deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain, those achy knees, hips, shoulders, back, whatever hurts. QC Kinetics can help you out. Instead of basing an operation that you really don't want to do, costs, sideline you for months. QC Connects can help these treatments happen right in the office, and you can go about your day. Simple procedures that can deliver big, life-changing results. Skip the 3 to 6 months recovery. Skip the pain. Skip the surgery. Imagine you're moving better, stronger, and planning the year you actually want at QC Kinetics. Again, they bring you football, fastball, and Fast Break Friday each and every week on the Morning Rush. I do want to mention, so Tommy is not with us this morning. He's not going to be with us on Monday either. His father-in-law, he's told me to share this. His father-in-law passed away this week. Jack Lucas, he was 82 years old. His funeral is going to be on Monday. Was an avid golfer, fisherman, loved to hunt. So just keep the Lucas family, the Kraft family, and anyone that's connected to Jack from a friendship standpoint, from a family standpoint, in your prayers and your thoughts here these next few days. Anytime you lose someone, we know the impact it has on a family. So just if you could do that for us as an ESPN Arkansas family, we would really appreciate it. So last night, when you think about what it was in college football and the setup and everything else, there has been a change within the sport. The SEC, for the first time since 2022, will not win a national championship for 3 straight years. Michigan, Ohio State, and either Indiana, Oregon, or the Miami Hurricanes. The SEC dominance is dead. Now, it's still a really good conference. It's still debatably the best conference. But that aura, that consistency that you had basically since 2006, when you think about it, I know that Saban won in 2003 with LSU, but everything got started. He left to go to the NFL. Everything got started in 2006 with that Florida Urban Meyer team that beat you in the SEC championship. And Herbie was kind of talking about last night. The pendulum swung a little bit.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun together. But, one thing that I'd like to mention is, Frank Signetti, Kirk.
I think that's the wrong clip. We'll play it. We'll figure it out.
Sorry.
You're good. We'll figure it out later in the show. But that's just where we are right now. And when you think about where the sport is and how everything's changed since July 1st of 2021, there's been portal stuff. There's all these different things that have happened within college football. You have the additions of Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC. You have the additions of Oregon. You have the additions of USC, UCLA, and Washington to the Big Ten. The terrain has changed. College football has changed. Pac-12 is not really much of a thing anymore relative to what it used to be. There is so much that looks different than what it did even 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, still, when we bring it back to Fayetteville, Arkansas, while the recruiting issues still exist, while you're never going to have that top 3 amount of money that you can pay players, this still benefits you, I think, personally. Not the Texas and Oklahoma thing necessarily. I think that hurt you more than people are wanting them in, and then Missouri and Texas A&M. But I still believe with the 12-team and eventually a 16-team college football playoff, you are primed, not necessarily to win a national championship, but at least get to the college football playoff at some point in time. If the right leadership's in place, the right players in place, and you have the right coach in place. I don't know if it's Ryan Silverfield. That's just kind of how I feel where the sport is right now when it pertains to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
I'm with you, Ty. I think it's been very interesting to watch this arms race play out over the last several years with the introduction of what Dan and Matt Ida says here on our Lewis Automotive hotline is that NIL and that revenue sharing. It kind of evened the playing field out a little bit, and it made things a little bit easier for schools and other conferences to get things. But I don't understand this, Ty. You're 100% right when you say this is good for Arkansas. When the rest of the SEC is down, we should be happy. Instead of just, putting our chain right there with the rest of the SEC, trying to latch on to what they're doing and thumping for them, because why? What have they ever done good for us? Nothing. So whenever they say it just means more, it's about the passion of the fan bases in the SEC. It doesn't necessarily mean it just means more on the playing field. It's an even playing field now. Those guys are on scholarship too in the Big Ten, in the ACC, and across the rest of the other Power Four. Those guys are on scholarship too. It's not the same thing as just in the SEC where we're getting the best of the best. You're going to have lots of fans tuned in, and when it comes to college football, the South and schools in the SEC are probably going to be in the upper half, if not the half, the entire top half of the television ratings. So the SEC is not going anywhere. It's not falling on hard times. It's popular as ever in basketball, football, and in baseball. But in football, the biggest money sport that there is, the one that draws the most eyes, you've fallen on hard times. But there's still competitive teams from the SEC in there. It'd be different if there was no competition, if everything totally fell off. You had what, four teams in the SEC, five teams in the playoff this year? You were still involved. You were still in the mix. Teams like Indiana, Oregon, they're good too. You should be happy about this as a Razorback fan because you're right, Ty. With the extra spots in the playoff, with all these traditional powers, falling by the wayside, it's your shot. It's your time. You can be that Indiana. You can be that Vanderbilt. It just takes a couple of extra ingredients to your recipe, like you said.
And on the subject of Indiana surpassed 73,000 applicants for their school in the 24 and 25 school year.
It's probably a huge jump.
It's pretty obvious. And the year before was 67. The year before that it was 54. Good football. Kids want to go to school there. That allows you to be more selective for who you get out of state. Academic standards rise up. There is so much. We've seen it in Tuscaloosa. We've seen it in other places. But the most notable program right now is Indiana. And they're just the latest case study on what could happen from an academic standpoint. I know Arkansas from a land is capped a little bit. If you've been around Fayetteville, if you've seen the parking, I know they're building that new parking garage soon. It's not exactly the easiest place to get around. But if you want to be a more prestigious academic university, nerds like football too. All right, we've got our Fence Man Friday picks coming up in just a bit. We enjoy talking all things Razorback athletics, SEC football, but we also enjoy reveling in our opponents' misery.
Love it.
Right now, the Kentucky Wildcats are 0-2 in the Southeastern Conference, 9-6 overall, and there is just not good things happening in Lexington, Kentucky.
Overall rating.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's made, so I'll play it just a little bit later on in the show.
Okay. All right. We will get to that coming up in just a bit. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open, 877-377-6963. Some Arkansas portal news that we're going to get to as well. Travis Kelce, I know people are wondering about if he's going to be continuing on his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. He had some comments on that. Based on how he reacted after their final game of the season, I don't expect him to move on. John Rothstein had some things to say about Darius Acuff, plus some SEC basketball games to get into this weekend as well. Portal news-wise, the Razorbacks have some good additions that are exciting. You're now at 24 signees or commits. Your top 12 class, you continue to rise in the transfer portal rankings, according to 24/7 Sports and On3. That's like a big thing because you're more worried about that than you would be your high school, which you're ranked outside the top 50. That's not as big a deal now for Ryan Silverfield. It's about getting these transfer portal players. Some of the notes that I jotted down, Colton, that seemed important to me. TJ Metcalf, who started his career at Arkansas, Pinson, Alabama kid, if I remember that right. He's entered the portal. I don't know if he's going to come back home or I say home. Home's Alabama. I don't know if he's going to come back to Fayetteville. You got another Memphis kid, Josiah Clements. I say Memphis kid. You got a couple more Memphis kids. Josiah Clements, who's an offensive lineman. You also got Matt Adcock, who's a transfer. And then you got some players that other high-profile teams wanted, like Bryant Williams, who's the Louisiana offensive tackle. Like Kerry Clayton's a high school kid from Southlake, and that's the best program outside of any academy in all of high school football. Braden Lee, I know we were talking about his teammate the other day from Maryland. So you've gotten some more high-profile guys, and now, again, you're up to 24 commits or signees, and that's, again, where you were a couple days ago. We were kind of wondering, what's going on? Well, Ryan Silverfield has at least added some guys that, at least on paper, based on where they're playing school, based on some of their stats, look, okay, this looks pretty solid.
Well, I think that fans are going to be displeased no matter what because you're in a position to where you have to kind of figure out whether these guys are any good or not, and you really can't tell until they start to play. So there's still going to be a lots of anticipation and just kind of waiting to see whether or not these guys are any good, whether the stats can match up in the SEC or not. But yes, Ty, on paper, it appears that Silverfield and the rest of all the new coaches he's hired up there to become to lead the Razorback football program, they have put a big emphasis on this portal. They realize there's a serious overhaul on defense that needs to happen, and they've definitely taken some steps to eradicate some of the things that happened last year on defense that were at a big disadvantage to your football team. So I'm excited to see what Silverfield can do. And honestly, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I've been impressed with what he's done. I think that I know that the money here is limited compared to schools like Indiana, who are being bankrolled by Mark Cuban, and it's different than schools like Texas Tech.
But apparently not Joe Buck.
Yeah,
Troy Aikman told him don't spend the money.
Well, Troy Aikman got jilted a little bit, and I understand that. Hopefully he keeps all that keen business sense in Miami to lead the Dolphins now.
Yeah.
But I think that they're doing the right things in terms of finding players that have potential value. That's why they made a big deal about hiring the general manager from Arizona, Geiska Crowley. Whenever we had Josh Bryce on a couple weeks ago and talked about from Football Scoop and talked about just exactly what a general manager does, everybody across college football said that was a good hire for the Razorbacks because his ability to negotiate, his ability to scout, and all those things. So hopefully you see a little bit of that, and I've been impressed. So I just hope that these players that look good turn out to play good as well.
Fenceman Friday picks coming up. We're brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. You can give Jackie, Matt, and their team a call at 479-769-1505. They're now helping out in Salisaw. They're building an office right across from the courthouse. You've got Sequoia and LaFleur County residents. Of course, all Oklahomans are welcome to stop in at Mock Legal Solutions, as well as Arkansans at their original location in Fort Smith. Jackie has over a decade in experience when it comes to car wrecks, slip and falls, and dog bite cases. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. They offer flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. Now, we were talking with Brandon before the show this morning. Brandon, I didn't realize you had a connection to the oil industry, and I was asking you, Landman, how real is it? And you said it's about half and half, right?
Yeah. They have their Hollywood moments, of course.
Up you know what I mean? Where do you like that show? Do you dislike it?
I love that show.
Okay, you do like that show?
I'm caught up on it and everything. Me and my wife watch every Sunday.
Okay. Who's your... No, I'm not going to ask that.
There's lots of eye candy in that show.
I was going to say, you got to be careful, I feel like, at times as the male watching some of those shows when you have certain female actresses that appear in it. All right, are you ready? We hadn't done this in a while. You ready?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, let's get back into it. Fenceman Friday.
Let's go.
Fenceman Friday Picks. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
All right, we're going to pick the three big games of the weekend. Tonight, I think the biggest playoff game is the Packers and Bears, being that's a rivalry, oldest rivalry in the National Football League, and then the Arkansas-Auburn game tomorrow. So starting tonight, Brandon, the Indiana Hoosiers rematching against the Oregon Ducks. Hoosiers are favored by 3.5 on the Bet Saracen app.
I think Indiana's going to cover this. I think it's going to be fairly easy.
Fairly easy.
Fairly easy.
I kind of thought that the clock was going to strike midnight on Ole Miss last night, just based on the lines of scrimmage that Miami possesses. I think the Cinderella story continues for Indiana. I feel like the opposite about that. So I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be right around that line, but I do think that the Indiana Hoosiers cover and move on to Miami for the national championship gold.
I'm against both of y'all. I think I've had enough of the Indiana Cinderella story, to be honest with you. As a young man, I remember being impressed with all of Oregon's uniforms and hoping that they were finally there to host a national championship trophy. I think in my heart of hearts, I would love to see Dan Lanning become an extra psychopath next season and be possessed on winning a second national championship. Give me the Ducks to burst the Hoosiers bubble.
They do have the best mascot in college football as well with the Duck. All right, Packers at Bears. Bears 1 point home underdog against their arch rival. The game went 1-1 in the regular season. In my mind, it's the game of the weekend, the National Football League playoff wise. Who do you like in this one? Go Pack or
definitely not go Pack?
The Bears.
I think I'm gonna go with the Bears this week.
Go Bears.
Caleb Williams and company move on. Listen, as great of a game that we're heading for Saturday night, tomorrow night, I do think the Packers end up getting it done. Maybe that's my Packers slight fandom coming out of me, but I just think all the pressure's on the Chicago Bears to move on. All right, tomorrow night, Arkansas has a chance to go 3-0 in conference and put Nepo Pearl and company in an 0-3 hole. Arkansas is a 1.5-point underdog on the road in the jungle. Placed not a lot of opponents going at win. Texas A&M was able to this week. Will Arkansas be the second team to beat the Auburn Tigers this week, Brandon?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. Auburn is not ready for what Arkansas is about to bring down.
All right, I like it. Colton, where are we going with this?
Yeah, this should be a good contest, same as you had against Tennessee, same as you had against the team you just beat. I forgot who they were already, but it's going to be a good contest. Ole Miss, excuse me. Yeah, so you're going to be a good contest, but you're better than Auburn is this year. So give me the Hogs on the road by more than like 5.
Okay, I do think Arkansas is the better team. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer this morning, but I said all week in my mind, you're happy if you split. Well, you've split.
Yes.
If you're 3-0 heading into the game next week against South Carolina, you're elated. But I will settle with the split, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think Arkansas falls to Auburn tomorrow night at 5:00.
Wow.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope they start 3-0. And honestly, since I picked against them,
they're going to win.
Probably going to win.
You heard it here.
They're probably going to win, which always helps out things. Speaking of help, you guys can help Northwest Arkansas, River Valley Fence. Give you a call, 782-3936.
Yes, sir.
What have y'all been doing a lot of lately? Start the year.
Doing a lot of chain link right now. Just been working on chain link, a lot of barbed wire, things like that. We still deal with our residential customers, privacy fences here and there and stuff like that. But yeah.
Go to thefencemanAR.com and again, call 479-782-3936 for Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Residential, commercial, chain link, gate access is a big deal just for security for a lot of people.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's something that you guys can do as well. Again, one more time, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of nowhere. Good to have you back.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you guys. I'll see y'all next week.
Hog Update coming up. Going to hear about this basketball game tomorrow night.
Fastbreak Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
Steal by the Razorbacks, knocks to the other end, and a throwdown.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanAR.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Raleigh. This is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. You know, a famous coach once said there's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback.
And there's only one Razorback store that's owned by a family of University of Arkansas alums.
And that's us, the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. Y'all know why seagulls fly over the sea and not the bay?
Why?
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels.
Dad, just please stop.
Anyway, the Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you could want. Tees, hoodies, puffer vests, polos from Nike, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, Champion, and many more.
Plus, we have stuff for your fan cave and those Razorback golfers out there.
So next time you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or you can shop us on that Googleator, Facegram, Instagram,
Dad, just stop
InstaWeb.
before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
And it's hard not to feel like this is just a failure.
This is the Morning Rush.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
When it comes to barbecue, nothing beats the Blue Ember way. At Blue Ember Smokehouse, we only serve fresh, prime meat that's been smoked low and slow over 100% wood fires. From tender brisket and fall-off-the-bone ribs to our family recipe sides, we serve up the kind of flavor that keeps you coming back for more. Dine in with friends, family, call in or order online for a quick pickup, or let us cater your next event, big or small. Find a location near you at blueembersmokehouse.com. Blue Ember Smokehouse. Fresh, prime, smoked.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of stress-free internet. Wave Rural Connect brings you our 300 internet with Wi-Fi, perfect for streaming, remote work, and holiday guests. No data limits, built-in cybersecurity, and easy control with our free Wave Connect app. All for just $71.95 a month. Visit waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372 today. Wave Rural Connect, internet that works when you need it most.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Dozy Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Dozy Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Gage Wood, no hits him. Allen has a wide open man. It's Childs. He's loose. He scores. Childs, please.
Well, Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
ARKNSAS.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Go Hog.
Arkansas is significantly better than it was last year. And the main reason why is the guy at the point of attack in Darius Acuff.
I cannot wait till the end of February, when Darius Acuff and Boogie Flynn match up for multiple reasons. Because it's going to be obviously one guy left, one guy's here. Darius just got named, if you haven't seen, one of the 25 Wooten Award midseason watch list finalists, along with Boogie's teammate Thomas Howell, Nate Mint, who came into Bud Walton this past week, and then also LeBarian Philon for Alabama. You heard John Rothstein there of CBS Sports talking about, he's been on Darius for a while now, loves him, puts him on his midseason All-American team. I keep thinking, I keep boxing him into freshman All-American, freshman awards, SEC. This kid can win SEC Player of the Year. Yeah. This kid could be not freshman All-American, an All-American. I've got to uncompartmentalize that. He belongs in the overall categories based on what he's accomplished so far this season.
I just think that we need to be prepared as a fan base to get used to stuff like this. Coach Cal is going to bring in the best young talent on the basketball court in the country every single year until he's done here. That's what he's done his whole career. That's what he will continue to do here in Fayetteville, because you have a good basketball brand. You have a basketball state that loves to watch their Hogs, and you have a basketball team that's going to be consistently competitive. So it's exciting to watch Darius Acuff because, like you said, Ty, he is not just a freshman. I mean, he's going to be eligible and able to win a lot of these awards, and I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year, if he keeps at this same pace, he stays healthy, and the Razorbacks reach their potential, that there's a nice little picture of him on the Razorback men's basketball Instagram later on in the year, just with his hands full. I mean, can't even hold all the awards and certificates he's gotten throughout the year. He's a very special player, and I think John Rothstein is right. We are in a much better position than we were last year. Obviously, not having a bunch of injuries with our bigs and having our best player available like we didn't have last year in Adu Thero. Now we have with Darius Acuff. It's a big help, but his talent alone, Ty, is something that Razorback fans aren't always necessarily accustomed to seeing, but we need to get used to.
This text comes from B in Clarksville. I know that Nabes was on Ruskin and Zach yesterday. Apparently, he told a story that when Darius committed to the Razorbacks, the complex, talking about Eddie Sutton practice facility and everything within, and I can't remember the name of the performance center, that it erupted. And apparently they went nuts during that, which, based on what he's accomplished thus far this season, can't wait. Do wonder about his ankle heading into this game tomorrow night. You call him, saw tweak it. I hope it's nothing. Hadn't got a chance to talk to any assistant or Cal. Or
he never went to the bench, though, Ty. He never went to the bench through any of that.
Yeah.
So
tough kid.
Yeah.
Feel like most Detroit kids are pretty tough, and he definitely fits in the mold there. Arkansas baseball, preseason number 4,
Let's go.
According to Perfect Game. I know Phil's itching, as is Bubba and the rest of us, for baseball season to be here. Saw a couple picks. Scoreboard looks like it's coming along nicely.
And it looks like it's completely uninvasive as well.
And that was like my initial concern. I asked Phil, I was like, yo, they're not going to obstruct the hog pen or like knock out some hog pen seating, are there? And he kind of showed me where it was going to be. I was like, okay, that makes sense, because you want those big dog boosters to
be able to see.
Be able to see like the different statistics and various other things that the scoreboard shows. So that makes sense. We're going to continue to give you updates about Arkansas's portal class this morning and here in the coming weeks. Arkansas has got a few other signees and portal class commits as well that people are excited about, now within the top 12 of both On3 and 24/7 sports recruiting rankings. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. Number one source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready mix concrete. It could be a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job. They've got you covered. No job is too big or too small. Need expert advice? They have it for you. Call them at 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group, 479-587-3300. That's 479-587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group. All right, some more coming up on the college football playoff and what we saw last night. What an incredible game, incredible performance. I've told everyone about what I think about Fernando Mendoza Jr. and just kind of what it is like to watch him play and listening to him talk about various things. And he's really appreciative of his fan base.
The Hoosier Nation, they were a huge reason on why we beat Alabama. And the way we beat them is because it was a home game for us. I believe it was 80% Indiana fans, 20% Alabama fans. And having that home field advantage means so much to us as players. It's essentially having the 12th player on the field. And to have them show up not only meant so much off the field by disrupting the opponent, but it meant on the field with us and elevating our play. And to be able to have another opportunity to play in front of Hoosier Nation, as myself having another opportunity to play, it's such an honor, and I can't thank Hoosier Nation enough for all the support.
Don't know if the Cinderella story is going to continue for the Hoosiers or not tonight, but I sure have loved watching this kid this season. I don't even know if this game tonight can live up to what the game was last night, because last night was pretty special when you think about how Miami and Ole Miss went and concluded. I know Ole Miss fans not happy this morning based on what they thought was a pass interference at the end of the game. And honestly, that one against Arkansas, I don't blame them. Don't blame them one bit, because I feel like that we would have had the same kind of thought process based on that. Hey, we always love hearing from Bruce Stan and Pradco Fishing, having him in there in here weekly, talking all things Pradco, made right here in Arkansas. You go to LureNet.com and get all the Pradco lures at Pradco, Walmart, and tackle stores all over the place. When you think about catching the fish that you want to catch, then you got to do it with Pradco Fishing. Again, LureNet.com. They've got special deals on there you're not going to find anywhere else. That's Pradco Fishing, made right here in Arkansas. We're going to get to our Morning Rush Daily Question when we come back.
It's Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Ahead to Billy Richmond for a one-hand slam.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Raleigh.
This is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. You know, a famous coach once said there's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback.
And there's only one Razorback store that's owned by a family of University of Arkansas alums.
And that's us, the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. Y'all know why seagulls fly over the sea and not the bay? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels.
Dad, just please stop.
Anyway, the Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you could want. Tees, hoodies, puffer vests, polos from Nike, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Champion, and many more.
Plus, we have stuff for your fan cave and those Razorback golfers out there.
So next time you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or you can shop us on that Googleator, Facegram, Instagram,
Dad, just stop
InstaWeb.
before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Now we are seeing, as we get into January, a player that is becoming appointment television each time he takes the floor.
This is the Morning Rush.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Want pavement protection that goes the distance? Seal Tight of Oklahoma now offers Rhino Tight Premium Asphalt Emulsified Sealant, the next level in driveway and parking lot care. Healthier for the environment, Rhino Tight delivers superior defense against weather, UV rays, and wear and tear. With its high solids content, you'll get a smoother, stronger, longer-lasting driving surface. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or a contractor buying in bulk, Seal Tight has the products and support you need. Visit SealTightOklahoma.com today and protect your pavement with Rhino Tight.
Welcome to Cricket Wireless. Santa?
I've got to get Mrs. Claus a gift or I'm in a whole lot of trouble.
How about a single unlimited line? Only $35, plus a free Moto G 5G.
Oh, you're a lifesaver. Here, take a present.
Says it's for Timmy in Des Moines.
Never heard of it.
Join Cricket Nation and get a single line for $35 per month, plus a free Moto G 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Requires activation of new line on select unlimited plan or higher. Pay $40 first month. New lines only. First month service charge. Tax to its sale fees. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See cricketwireless.com.
Discover the ultimate adventure at the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 8th through the 11th at the Rogers Convention Center. Check out a vast array of boats by the finest boat dealers in the area. Learn from experts, test out the latest equipment, and gain insight that will take your adventures to new heights. This show is the perfect place to see all the boat brands and compare. The Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 8th through the 11th at the Rogers Convention Center, where your next adventure begins.
Arkansas fans, get fired up at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for Tex-Mex and Arkansas Game Day. Catch Arkansas basketball games live on our big TV screens. And when you wear your Arkansas gear, score half-price apps and cheap taps. Enjoy complimentary chips and homemade salsa, fresh and made from scratch every day. Don't miss Joe's Mexican-inspired daily specials, fast, friendly service, and the best game day fun in town. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
That Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpathsocial.com.
I want you all to be thinking about who Darius Acuff reminds you. Who does Darius Acuff remind you of? 877-377-6963. That's going to be our Cart Pass Social daily question. It is a football fast break and fastball Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics. And it is also the start of the new year. It's 2026. Can you believe it? Well, you might need that vehicle, that new one, that pre-owned one, to get going. Our buddy Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi can help you out with that. And the great thing, I feel like people don't realize when you talk about pre-owned vehicles at Rath Auto Resources, these are road-ready certified. They're inspected. And Larry, they come with a warranty, man. You just don't find that anywhere else.
Oh, and I think that's why we've won the best used car in the River Valley, for the last couple of years. We really do sell the best car. We have to. It's backed by a 90-day comprehensive warranty, and you're not going to find a better used car. And the thing that we figured out how to do, we're keeping those costs down and making sure we're passing those savings along to our customers, and you're getting that road-ready certified car for the same price as everybody else's car. There's just no reason not to take a look, take a test drive, and you asked me earlier on the phone what we were excited about this year. I'm excited about the inventory. We've been buying cars all winter, found some good deals, and we are going to pass those savings right along to our customers. We've got a lot full of these road-ready certified vehicles in all the different price ranges. We kind of specialize in helping people get some financing, get a payment they can afford, get a great car, and we do that through banks and lenders. So we help you build your credit. It's just a better way to drive, and it's why we say all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. They really are. Once you get into this road-ready used car deal, you can trade cars every 2 or 3 years, have terrific credit, get great service in the Meineke Car Care Center. It really is just a better way to drive. So I'm excited about the inventory and road-ready certified and a brand new year. And we're off to a fast start. This weather's helping us. Absolutely great time to come out and save. And I'm excited about new Mitsubishis, guys. That Mitsubishi franchise up in Springdale, that's really fixing to take off. Mitsubishi's come with some great incentives. We got brand new cars starting around $400 a month with a 5-year, 60,000-mile full coverage warranty and a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. I don't know where you can beat that. So I know Mitsubishi's not on everybody's list, but folks, you need to take the challenge. Come in and test drive a new Mitsubishi and look at the deals that we've got on new Mitsubishis. And again, a great inventory. So just a terrific time to come into either store. And if you're keeping the car you have, visit either one of the Meineke Car Care Centers in Springdale or Fort Smith, and they'll do a great job of taking care of the car you have. But better yet, let's trade. We got a great inventory. It's a great time. Come in and see us. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale.
Doing the New Year ride at both locations. Larry, have a good rest of your weekend, brother.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. And folks, come see us.
He's looking more and more because of his power, because of his ability to pull up like a younger version of Stephon Marbury. That's who he reminds me of.
You remember Stephon Marbury, New York Knick?
I don't remember him, but I know who he is.
You know who he is.
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
Well, again, we asked the question, what's the Darius Acuff comp? Now, I'm going to give a guy that some of you know, some of you don't, but it's just who he reminds me of because I remember him lighting up Cal's team in the national championship game 2014. That's Shabazz Napier. As I was watching Darius take these pull-up, again, and maybe that's not the best.
The UConn Husky, right?
UConn Husky. Coach Kevin Ollie's star point guard, and another stud guard on that team whose name I'm forgetting. But that kid just hit so many clutch shots on the Huskies' way to the national championship game. Like Kemba Walker's a little smaller than Darius, but that type of mold, like wants the ball in these situations. But that's who he reminds me of. According to some of our listeners, Nathan Benville says a better Corey Beck.
Ooh.
Cajun says his comp is Derrick Rose or James Harden. Again, Derrick Rose, coached by John Calipari. Ryan says, I don't know, Ty, he's kind of his own guy. Chase also agrees that he reminds him of Derrick Rose.
I can get with Derrick Rose because he's extremely explosive, and that's one of the things that you think about with D. Rose was there was nobody that was able to have that burst, that ability to accelerate on the floor and also vertically more than Derrick Rose at times. I know that Darius Acuff is a great athlete. I don't know that he's in like that superstar extreme athlete that we saw from Derrick Rose.
That's different.
Yeah.
It was like Derrick Rose could have played linebacker, cornerback. He could have played whatever.
Well, I don't want to take away from Darius Acuff. When I think about him, I think about how this dude is absolutely yoked. I mean, he's got big biceps. He's got big, strong shoulders. So Matt has a comp of Chauncey Billups, which I think is a great comparison. I also, when I think about Darius Acuff, he's a really strong guard that's able to not force things and still have an impact on the game. So I know that while he's not necessarily the star scorer in the NBA, at a time, Kyle Lowry was one of the better facilitators in the NBA. And he's a great playmaker, never forced things, a good defender, and he's a championship ring to his name. So I think of guys like that, really strong guards, didn't necessarily have to be the superstar on their team like Darius Acuff is right now for his college basketball team. I think he's a great playmaker, and someone like that, someone like a Drew Holiday, he's more of a 3-and-D guy as a point guard, but I really, really like the comp of Kyle Lowry because he's super strong, able to facilitate and make plays in the pick and roll, never forces things, and a really high basketball IQ, and that's all Darius Acuff to a T.
Josefa in Fort Smith says he reminds him of Jalen Brunson. Jason says bigger version of Arlen Bowers. Cliff says he's not as tall as Carmelo Anthony, but the same body type. I think you're thinking of just the hairdo is where you go on that because they're nothing like Carmelo was like a freak freshman. Him and that Jerry McNamara squad and was it 03 with
Syracuse,
that beat
baby.
Kurt Heinrich and Nick Collison in Kansas. Carmelo
is
like one of the few. That's like, and that was 20 plus years ago. But he's one of the few freshmen that lived up to it and then like just dominated the NCAA tournament. Now he was fortunate enough to be playing alongside Jerry McNamara and Akeem Warwick and some of those other guys. But that BC, and this is the one I thought people would text in because AI, what he sponsor him, he's a part of his brand. It's Allen Iverson. That's and you've got one of the best small guards in NBA history. It's 1 and 2, him and Isaiah, and he obviously thinks highly enough of Darius to be a part of his branding and what he's going to become. And again, he's just a true freshman. There's no reason to believe he can't get better. Now, there's going to be different elements, different defensive schemes, different pick and roll things that coaches do to try and rattle him and get the ball out of his hands. But he's met a lot of these challenges thus far, and a lot of these comps that we're getting here are pretty good.
Iverson's really good because he's a really great one-on-one player. You know the tape of him crossing Jordan over, him stepping over Tyronn Lue. He's a big moment, one-on-one player, and you saw it last night, the other night against Ole Miss. Whenever we needed a bucket, it was clear out. It was get everybody out of the way, 4 low on the baseline, and let Darius make a play. ISO one-on-one against their guard for Ole Miss. So that's a really good comp, BC. I like that.
Yeah. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Number one place for indoor golf in all of Arkansas is Cart Pass Social. You can stop by and see Nate Gearhan, Christian Olsen, and their team. When it comes to corporate events, your next party, birthday parties, gender reveals. It doesn't matter. They can do it all at Cart Pass Social. 10 TVs, best place to watch college football and the NFL. March Madness is going to be here before we know it. Plus, the Masters Invitational is coming up starting March the 16th. We'll let you know more about that. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social. I know which text you're laughing at. So just go and read it.
Guy. He says he reminds me of a smaller, faster, more athletic Shaq. That's pretty good, Scott. I like that.
That's one way to look at it when it comes to what Darius Acuff comp is. But these are all over the place. That's pretty.
Everybody that's being mentioned though is like for the most part they're a one-of-one talent in the NBA, and they were at their time. And I think that Darius Acuff is well on his way to becoming one of the better players in Razorback history that plays in the NBA later on. He's a real talent.
He's a stud. There's no question about it. And it helps when you have guys like Carter Knox
in the corner. Knox is open, three-pointer good. Carter Knox with a tough 3, 10 for Knox.
You got TB. Malik Ewan can give you a double-double at points. And then you also have his other freshman buddy, Malik Thomas. I mean, this isn't like...
It's a one-man show.
Yeah, I think what... Cal's talked about this from a recruiting standpoint before. One of the appeals for coming to Arkansas to play for John Calipari is you're not going to Rutgers or one of these schools that land like Georgia with Anthony Edwards years ago, that you land a top 5 kid, but there's no one on his team that can play a lick. Arkansas and Kentucky when Cal was there, Memphis when Cal was there, would have all these other talented players that help you where you don't have the entire defensive scheme set up to stop you and prohibit you, and you're still going to get your touches. Like we've seen again, 20-plus performances from, I think, 5, maybe 6 guys on this team. So if it's your night, there's going to be plays and different sets that are diagrammed for you. And it's been Darius's night a lot lately. But what he's been so instrumental in doing is getting other guys going. And you're going to have to do that tomorrow night when you take on Nepo Pearl and the Auburn Tigers. Because this is a situation while they're 0-2, their back's against the wall, there's going to be a big crowd tomorrow night. They're going to make life very difficult on Darius Acuff and how he responds to the different challenges that await him. I'm hoping that he tries to get his teammates involved early because he's not going to be able to do it by himself.
A superhero is only as good as their sidekick at times. And, Ty, a host is only as good as their co-host. So thankfully for everybody listening and for you, Tommy will be back soon.
Yeah,
so
thank
it'll be a lot
goodness.
better. But Darius Acuff has a lot of tools at his disposal to make those plays, Ty. You're right. We saw him make that play at the very end of the game to get TB into position to make those clutch threes. And that's just the type of player that has a high IQ, and you need that out of your stars as well. So you said it earlier. You have to get out of the mind of thinking that this is just a freshman, that this is just a guy that's going to, this is just a guy that's going to, get all these freshman awards. Because he's gone, and he's probably going to win a bunch of awards as well. So it's exciting to watch Darius Acuff.
So hopefully tomorrow night, Arkansas will be 3-0, and
Yes.
Auburn will be 0-3. We'll have to see how that plays out. Matt Zimmerman, Coach Z, is going to join us coming up in just a bit. Talking about sidekicks, Chuck's sidekick on the radio broadcast here. Z and I go way back, known him for a while. Went to the same high school as my mom, so really excited to have Coach Z on there. They're going to leave a little later on today. I was wondering how early they were going to head to Auburn, so he's going to give us some time a little later on this morning here in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, it is a football fast break and Fastball Friday. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics. If you're wanting to start 2026 out strong and you're tired of the joint pain, then let QC Kinetics help you. January, it's supposed to be your clean slate, so make it one. Stop managing the pain and start solving it with QC Kinetics. It's one of those things where you don't want to have to deal with surgery, downtime, or putting your life on pause. You want to be able to get it going with QC Kinetics. And it's something I know Tommy's done. There's been a lot of people that have done it with QC Kinetics right here in Arkansas. So again, take advantage of that with QC Kinetics, not having to deal with the downtime of surgery or other ailments that are doing that. Joint pain, you got that issue, QC Kinetics can help you out. Hour 2 is next.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Raleigh.
This is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. You know, a famous coach once said there's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback.
And there's only one Razorback store that's owned by a family of University of Arkansas alums.
And that's us, the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. Y'all know why seagulls fly over the sea and not the bay?
Why?
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels.
Dad, just please stop.
Anyway, the Stadium Shop on Razorback has everything you could want. Tees, hoodies, puffer vests, polos from Nike, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, Champion, and many more.
Plus, we have stuff for your fan cave and those Razorback golfers out there.
So next time you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Or you can shop us on that Googleator, Facegram, Instagram,
Dad, just stop
InstaWeb.
before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
This is the Morning Rush.
2026 is looking bright at Rath Auto Resources. Celebrate by driving away in one of our road-ready certified pre-owned cars, reconditioned and backed by a comprehensive warranty. With our award-winning customer service, non-commissioned sales team, and painless pricing, we take the hassle out of the car buying experience, so you can focus on more important things, like that new gym membership, quitting smoking, or that other thing. Ring in the new year with a new ride and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, or faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, not when you work with Tara Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Real Estate Group. With over $1 billion in real estate sold, Tara's team knows how to make the process simple, successful, and even enjoyable. They can provide you with a cash offer in 72 hours, or you can use Tara's high-octane marketing and sell your home for thousands over asking. When it's time to buy or sell, trust the team that delivers results. Go to LindberghTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Winter has arrived, bringing frothy mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Today, increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 50s, north mid 60s south. Chance of seeing a little scattered rain tonight, an overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Sunny skies on Saturday, a high upper 40s to low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for wine, specialty beers, and liquor, located at 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith. KERX Paris Fort Smith, broadcasting live from the Busch Light Studios. This is the Morning Rush. This hour of the Morning Rush is powered by Busch Light. Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager there is.
Welcome to Glendale, Arizona, and the CFP semifinal of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, a collision of two great stories. The resilient Rebels and Hurricanes have defied the odds. They've earned their spot in the desert to punch their ticket to the tropics in the national championship game in Miami a week from Monday. 2nd and 3 after the penalty. Lacey at the middle. Lacey's in the clear. It's a foot race. Reaching for the end zone is Marty Brown, and Miami goes back on top. Tony at space. Malachi Tony still running. Touchdown Miami. Again, the Canes bring pressure. Chambliss delivers. Touchdown Ole Miss. Don't find right. Rebels back on top. Three receivers flat to the left. Becca's looking that way. And still looking. Takes off running. Passing back with his legs. What a drive.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Produced by Colton Little.
Leave it to the Dolphins to be groundbreaking in something stupid that's hated.
With Ty Richardson.
I take pride in being a 3-star.
This is the Morning Rush.
Probably closer to unranked in the 24/7 on 3. I guess Rivals is kind of submerged with on 3.
Unranked but not uncommitted.
Unranked but not uncommitted. Hour 2 alongside Colton Little. I'm Ty Richardson. If you missed it earlier in hour 1, I do want to mention this from the jump. Tommy lost his father-in-law this week, Jack Lucas, who passed away at the age of 82. So he's going to be gone the next couple days. Just do me a favor. Keep the Crafts, keep the Lucases, keep our ESPN Arkansas family in your prayers and thoughts. Again, Jack was 82 years old. His funeral's coming up on Monday. We would just really, really appreciate that when it comes to Tommy's family and his wife's family and just everyone involved, friends or family of the Lucases as well. Z's going to join us momentarily in just a bit. We're going to get some thoughts on that game last night that you just heard. What a conclusion. What an ending to one of the better college football semifinal games we've ever seen as the Miami Hurricanes move on. I say move on. They're going back home. It's wild. It's kind of like LSU after Joe Burrow's regular season in 2019. They got to play that national championship game in New Orleans. I want to say Saban's year in 2003 when they played Oklahoma. I want to say that game was in New Orleans too. So a definite advantage for those guys. Hey, football, fast break, Basketball Friday. It's always brought to you by QC Kinetics, 479-397-4815. When it comes to getting rid of what you want to have rid of in 2026. You want to start out strong in 2026. Do so with QC Kinetics. That joint pain that's been really annoying you for quite some time, you can get rid of it with QC Kinetics. There's no downtime. There's no surgery. And you want to get things powered up right when it comes to QC Kinetics. Again, go to QCkinetics.com, 479-397-4815. Again, right here in Northwest Arkansas. I know Tommy, they've helped out Tommy before when it comes to some of the stuff that he's been dealing with joint pain-wise, and they can help you out as well. QCkinetics.com, 479-397-4815. for QC Kinetics. You know, Kurt Herbstreit had something interesting to say after the game.
I think the pendulum is swung because it's not just the national championship with Michigan and Ohio State, potentially Oregon, Indiana. It's the rest of what's been happening. And that's the only thing you've always had to go by. And I know it's subjective and you can go back and forth, but the perception and the optics right now, SEC stock is down these last couple of years and the Big Ten is way up.
Is there anything wrong that he just said there? Or is there anything that he framed another way? Now, he played quarterback at Ohio State, but he gets labeled an SEC homer more often than not. ESPN gets labeled that too. 3 straight years without an SEC team competing for the national championship hasn't happened since 2002. That was something that was a game that Miami was actually in for then. So it's something that I think a lot of people, a lot of us, aren't willing to admit. It's still very much a competitive football conference. It's still very much a big deal. Still very much what college football is all about. The fandom. You've got 16 really, really good teams at times. We've seen Mississippi State even take the number 1 overall ranking in college football before. Arkansas, unfortunately, is a little behind, but that is just where we are currently in college football. Now, we didn't get a chance to play this last hour, so for those that maybe you missed the 9 o'clock hour, you get a chance to listen to us at 10 here on the Morning Rush. You're in for a treat. Colton put this together. We're going to try and get a hold of Z in just a bit, but it's a great montage. We love to celebrate Razorback victories in all sports. We also love to revel in our opponent's misery. In Kentucky right now, Lexington, not exactly a fun place.
This is the opening drive.
Well, a loss to a ranked team is one thing, but losing to unranked Missouri in Rupp Arena, that has certainly caused for some major concern. On January 7th, the Cats did not look like an NCAA tournament team. Kentucky could not make the winning plays in the final minute, and they had plenty of chances to do it. And Missouri gets its first win ever in Rupp Arena. The final 73-68.
He now has a worse record at this point in his career than Billy Gillispie. He's doing that with a roster where I don't know if you heard me say this last night. I'm going to update my numbers from last night. I think maybe 8 players on this roster make more money this season than Ellie De La Cruz is going to make this season. And 2 of our players after the game, one was posting his highlights on Instagram and the other was selling hats and on Instagram. And it's hard not to feel like this is just a failure. We got to cope with hope. Yeah, we got to cope with hope. Tell ourselves next year is our year without an ounce of hope. It took $20 million for big blue tears to fall. Guess old Coach Calipari wasn't that bad after all. Boogie cousins ain't walking through that door. I just don't know if my embrace can take this anymore. I'll try my Mountain Dew and mix and whiskey for the pain. Coping with Pope will be the end of Big Blues rain.
Copeland. Just Copeland.
Trevor, Josefa, Greg, and text flowing in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline that really enjoyed that incredible house band montage that you put together. Thank you, Colton. I don't know if I can add to that. It's a fastball, fast break, football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics. SEC updates coming up next.
Fastbreak Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics in Bentonville. Get back to living your life.
Steal by the Razorbacks, knocks to the other end and a throwdown.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
One thing that they learned from me, it's how to get your ass chewed out.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the paint store in Van Buren. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The paint store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The paint store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the paint store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Around here, we don't just know your name. We know your dad's favorite truck and your kid's baseball team. That's how it is when you've been in the same town for 90 years. At Hug Chevrolet GMC, we believe in handshakes, hometown service, and treating you like family. Because you're not just a customer, you're a neighbor. Hug Chevrolet GMC. The people, the place, the pride.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hey Razorback fans, Matt Jones here. We're all experiencing higher prices on just about everything, and that includes sunrooms, patio covers, and windows. If you've gotten an estimate on any of these projects and you were shocked by the price, then you need to call Sawyers. They've been making quality, affordable products for 35 years. They're local, they have 100% financing, and a beautiful showroom with all their products displayed. So give my buddy Buzz a call or check them out, sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest? He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. how many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the tough there is.
Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally held the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas, where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
They all won a national championship while they were with us, but they had some characteristics that were very similar. They had great competitive character. They were good people. They were good teachers. They could relate well with the players. And there's one thing that they learned from me. It's how to get your ass chewed out. And I hope that they learned how to do it.
How many coaches still do that in today's day and age with the idea that you could be concerned about one of your players, not necessarily your coach, but one of your players jumping ship? Listen, Tommy's torn into me when he's needed to. We stay out of each other's way for the most part. If he needs something, I'll get it for him. Same way if I need something. That's I would say that's how our relationship works more often than not. But when you still see these old school coaches that just rip into an assistant or rip into coach, my mind immediately goes to Saban. Like, I don't feel like Belichick does. I know he does, not necessarily. He doesn't have these outbursts. I mean, probably the most iconic one is him and Muschamp back when in Baton Rouge at LSU.
Oh, and they're both going.
Yeah, they're just going ballistic. But did get a kick out of that. Get all 4 coaches in the semifinals. Saban disciples.
Well, Coach Boom, I remember the clip from him coming into the locker room against Texas and drawing on the board just as fast as he can be. And when they run gap and they just hitting the marker board, that's the type of thing I think of is, I don't know if players or coaches are really used to getting chewed out per se as they were back in the day, but there's nobody better than Saban at it. It's a real art to doing it. And once you watch a coach up close do it and you watch another coach do it, they all have different ways, just like a comedy routine. They all have different ways of getting their point across. You mentioned Belichick. His is more dry and just kind of like, why don't you hit the thing? Why don't you run the play right? His is more like that. And Saban's obviously just going to flip a lip.
You sound like
that's what you heard Edelman and Matt Light and all those guys talk about it all the time. That's how they say Belichick handled situations like that. He wasn't going to blow up and be super demonstrative. He was just going to get his point across, and maybe the death by 1,000 cuts sometimes hurts more than just one quick slash across your chest, which is what you're going to get from Nick Saban. But man, there's nobody better than him at doing it, and he's 100% right. Is that there's no way that all those constructive criticism outbursts that Nick Saban dished out to all of his assistants, there's no way those guys aren't repeating those same lines to their assistants and to their players as well. So, I mean, it's all a big cyclical thing, and when it comes to Nick Saban's coaching tree, we're going to see the impacts of his ability to lead not only players on the field, but also fine-tune coaches' abilities to get the most out of players. We'll be seeing that impact for decades to come.
Decades and decades, including tonight, Dan Lanning and Kirk Cignetti going up against each other. I know they were having some fun this week.
With the college football calendar the way it is, we have 13 portal guys on campus right now. So from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock, my Oregon prep got cut a little bit short. So, I'm going to pick up on that later this evening.
And, just to build up that sentiment, first, I tell you, Coach Cignetti, keep focusing on those portal guys. We have a great roster next year. We're going through the same thing here. So I already did a breakfast with some recruits this morning. It is what it is.
There is I don't know if I'd call it a friendship, but definitely a mutual respect for one another. Lanning's one of the best young coaches in the sport, and Cignetti, 60-plus years old, has shown that old dogs can still learn new tricks, and he's definitely adapted to the new world of college sports.
I didn't know till recently about Kurt Cignetti Sr., his father, or Kurt Cignetti's father, I guess. He was a Hall of Fame college football coach at IUP, the Indiana University of Pennsylvania in Indiana, Pennsylvania, one of those weird places on the map. But it's a guy that won several hundred football games as a college football coach. So not only Nick Saban as a direct influence for how to be a good coach, but a Hall of Famer that was your dad. It's a big thing for Kurt Cignetti. So, like I said earlier, I can't really get on the whole Indiana Cinderella story anymore. I'm kind of done and over it because I think it heightens the expectations for everybody else here in Arkansas and the Vanderbilts and the lowly, peasants of the world trying to make their way up into the buck. Yeah, that's what we are. Don't act like we're not. That's what we are at this point. So, I think it gives a little bit too much of a false sense of hope. So
too much hope. Okay.
Yeah, that just my opinion, and I'm happy to get crucified for it here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. You can text it in how dumb the young guy is, 877-377-6963. But I'm kind of tired of the whole Indiana thing. It's obviously a great story, but if you think that's going to happen here at Arkansas in the next couple of years, it's going to take a lot more than just, transfer portal. It's going to take Ryan Silverfield being a hell of a coach. Yeah. We just don't know yet.
And we can talk a little more about what Arkansas's got in its transfer portal hall, which continues to grow in just a bit. But staying within the confines still of our SEC update. Last night, epic conclusion. Man, that freshman Malachi Toney's good.
Toney has space. Malachi Toney still running. Touchdown Miami!
Think about the season he adds. He sends Texas A&M, or he keeps Texas A&M in College Station. He sends the Ole Miss Rebels back to Oxford. Special kid. If you haven't watched him yet this season, he's an unbelievable player. And what a game that was last night. I'm sure one of those Cabinet twins is regretting dumping Carson Beck right about now, considering he might be a national championship quarterback as of a week from Monday. We'll have to wait and see. Do you think any better chance for Indiana to lose tonight or next Monday? You think if they get there, they'll get it done? Or Miami, I still think we're sleeping on Miami.
Miami's really good. I mean, Miami's just good. And other than the two games that they dropped this year, no one has ever really knocked Miami off their spot. They're going to do what they want to do, which is run the football, hold the ball all game long. The time of possession last night was absurdly in the Hurricanes' favor. I mean, they held the ball for, I think, 30-something minutes
SEC
plus.
Type of team with that defensive line and
control
running the
and the defense, Ty. Their defense is lights out. I mean, they are really, really good, full of stud players, and they have a guy that's been around and played a lot of snaps in college football who does not force anything. Carson Beck's a pretty smart quarterback. He's very savvy. He was able to walk it into the end zone last night to cap the win for the Canes, and I think it's really funny. When he was a college freshman, Malachi Toney, the guy you were talking about, Ty, 11 years old, still eating square pizza in the cafeteria, watching highlights on YouTube.
That's wild.
Yeah, and he just went out there last night, was catching passes from Carson Beck. So college football is a wild place right now, but the game last night was great. If it's Indiana, Miami in the college football championship, that'd definitely be one to watch. But I think it's going to be a Ducks and Canes matchup, personally.
I hope that you're wrong, but I think we're going to be in for a treat of a national championship either way. The Sooners sounds like are hiding Jason Witten, according to Pete Nakos, and on 3 as their tight ends coach. Kind of caught my eye. That's a notable hire. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet, right? He's future.
I don't think so.
Yeah, future Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Dallas Cowboys. Darius Acuff.
Are Volunteer fans mad about that, you think?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of where my mind went.
scratcher.
That's kind of where my mind went. Speaking of the Volunteers, they probably are in the biggest game of the weekend outside the one in Auburn tomorrow night. They take on Florida in the swamp, in the Connell Center, the Swim Center, whatever it is now. The Azteca Arena, whatever. That game's tomorrow at 11 a.m. on ESPN. Florida trying to get another big SEC win. Arkansas, again, 5 o'clock on ESPN against the Tigers. You'll hear, if I could say it, Chuck Barrett and Matt. I pause for a sec. Chuck Barrett and Matt Zimmerman tomorrow starting at 4:30. Zeke's going to be with us. We had some phone issues a little bit earlier. He's going to be with us in about 10 or so minutes before he flies to Auburn. All right, that is your SEC update this morning, and it's brought to you by Oaklawn Anywhere. You can always bet racing. I know that racing's going to be back in a few weeks. Go to bet.oaklawn.com. You can download the app in the Apple App Store. Use the code RUSH26 for a $200 sign-up bonus. Yes, a $200 sign-up bonus using the code Rush26. You can always download the Oaklawn Sports app as well and bet on the national championship game next week for Monday. You can bet on the college football playoff semifinal tomorrow night. And again, earn that sign-up bonus when you bet on the Oaklawn Anywhere app when it comes to horse racing. Just use the code RUSH26. And you can earn points for cash back on every single dollar wager. You got all that in-depth analysis from the Oaklawn Stakes races. Again, it's the Oaklawn Anywhere app plus the Oaklawn Sports app, all a part of Oaklawn. All right, so the transfer portal-wise, when you look, Colton, Arkansas is now at 24 commits. You got a top 12 class according to On3 and 24/7 Sports. Is there one lately? We've talked about it. Is there a guy lately that signed or committed that stood out amongst the rest, or maybe a potential signee, a potential new Razorback?
I think there were two for me. Lakai Rowland was a cornerback that signed from Maryland that we talked about yesterday with Tom. He signed yesterday morning, and he was a guy that you beat a lot of big-name schools to get. He actually took visits to Ohio State and other schools that were interested in him, so it always feels really good whenever you can steal one away from another big school, a team that was in the college football playoff that also is looking to retool their defense. It's nice that we were able to potentially win a bidding war against a Big Ten school, because it looks like now, Ty, that pendulum has swung the other way, and Southern car dealerships aren't the ones that are pulling the strings in college football anymore. It's the big checks up there in the Midwest and in the Big Ten. So I think that it's very difficult for me to kind of, I lost what I was going with. I'm talking about the car dealership thing, to be honest with you, but I'm excited about it. Whatever I was talking about, I don't even know. Okay. I've had a day. I'm happy to talk to Z.
Z's always bringing the energy, and he's going to be with us here momentarily on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We better go to break before we can get to him. Before we do that, Gaston's White River Resort, great place that you can hang out with your friends, your family, just that great getaway. Call 870-431-5202. Go to gastons.com. Clint, Jacob, the team, their Facebook page is littered with different videos and photos of experiences at Gaston's White River Resort. And listen, when I went to Wyoming and Montana, these are people that know about the White River all the way up in the Northwest. That's crazy that they know about the White River, but that speaks to the trout fishing we have right here in Arkansas. Gaston's is perched perfectly right on it. Their restaurant's fantastic. Their lodging's great. 870-431-5202. Go to gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
It's Fastbreak Friday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Ahead to Billy Richmond for a one-hand slam.
What a game.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You know what's underrated? Having choices. Like, imagine not being able to choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell. Imagine you couldn't get a box of classics for $5, or faves for $7, or a lavish feast for $9. Now with cheesy dipping burritos and creamy garlic sauce. Good thing all those choices are, like, actually real. So instead, imagine which you're gonna get. Choose your deluxe cravings box at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
We're keeping Arkansas beautiful. Want to lend a hand? Don't be afraid to get them dirty. Every day, volunteers around the state are picking up litter, planting trees and wildflowers, recycling, and more. You know what these volunteers need most? Help. Volunteer today at keeparkansasbeautiful.com. Learn more about all our programs. A message brought to you by the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission, this station, and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline to join the local conversation on ESPN Arkansas.
I want to talk to you. It's something I want to get off my chest.
877-377-6963.
No service, no bar. Okay, talk to me. Now there are two.
Very strong, very different opinions.
Serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Hey, sometimes you can't wait on a dental emergency. Valley Urgent Dental, they know that pain can't wait. Broken tooth, maybe it's a painful infection, sports injury. They've got you covered. Dr. Kendall Roberts and Dr. Dud Terry are here when you need them the most. Call them at 479-235-5655. That's 235-5655. They're available on weekends when your regular dentist is closed. Valley Urgent Dental is located at 5505 Upper Lane behind the Golden Corral in Fort Smith. Do not wait. Your smile deserves immediate care at Valley Urgent Dental. Now, Colton put together this incredible montage earlier, and I wanted to play it when Z was coming. We had some phone issues, a little background. Z's with us now, and as we intro, Matt Zimmerman, Razorback, former Razorback assistant coach, part of Arkansas lineage and legacy for quite some time now. Went to the same high school as my mom. I feel like we got to intro him the right way. Now, he's a professional broadcaster now. He would never, ever take
He wouldn't
pride.
stoop to this level.
Yeah,
No.
he wouldn't stoop to this level, but we're going to.
This is the opening drive.
Well, a loss to a ranked team is one thing, but losing to unranked Missouri in Rupp Arena, that has certainly caused for some major concern. On January 7th, the Cats did not look like an NCAA tournament team. Kentucky could not make the winning plays in the final minute, and they had plenty of chances to do it. And Missouri gets its first win ever in Rupp Arena. The final 73-68.
He now has a worse record at this point in his career than Billy Gillispie. He's doing that with a roster roster where I don't know if you heard me say this last night. I'm going to update my numbers from last night. I think maybe 8 players on this roster make more money this season than Ellie De La Cruz is going to make this season. And 2 of our players after the game, one was posting his highlights on Instagram and the other was selling hats and on Instagram. And it's hard not to feel like this is just a failure. We got to go with hope. Yeah, we got to go with hope.
Again, see, I know you'd never stoop to that level, but we're going to this morning. Happy Friday, man. What's going on?
Yeah, happy Friday from Fayetteville. We got beautiful sunshine, beautiful weather. And when it's this warm in January, you always take it. And the Razorbacks got a great basketball team. All of our fans are getting to enjoy it to the max. Our media, I think, is enjoying it. Everyone's having a good time with it. It's fun. We still got a lot of SEC play left, but it's really looking good for the Razorbacks right now. And the best thing is, I was talking to Coach Nolan Richardson this morning on the phone, and he says the same thing all the time. And his first thing he said today, and he'd watched the game, and he said, because he just keeps saying they're just going to keep getting better and better because they got these young guys that are still developing. And he said they're only going to get better. They're only going to get better. Man, when you play well and you win games and you go to Oxford and beat those guys, you beat Tennessee at home pretty soundly, and you're saying we're only going to get better, that's a really nice thing.
And see, I want to talk more about this game tomorrow, but you hit on something I also want to discuss. Coach Richardson, still very much a part of this program. Cal has been awesome in that relationship and friendship. I wonder if you could just give us some behind the scenes. What is it like watching 2 Hall of Fame coaches behind the scenes, John Calipari and Coach Nolan Richardson?
Yeah, it's always neat when they get together. And you're right, Coach Cal's been very good. You know, they were rivals. They were they battled. They fought. Coach Richardson had a lot of battles with Rick Pitino. He had lots with Tubby Smith, who was a good friend of his. But, you know, I think there was, I don't say there was animosity. There was always just hard competition, you know, and it really was, you know, against Coach Cal, Arkansas, the Memphis days, obviously the UMass, and then, of course, with Coach Richardson's protege, Coach Anderson, and the battles that his teams would have with Kentucky once Coach Cal went there and spent 15 years. So there was a lot of battles with Coach Cal, and I think that it's nice to see the respect that they have, and really on Coach Cal's end. You know, Coach Cal last year, his first year here, he told Coach Richardson, I'm sitting right there, he said, Coach, we can get you an office in the basketball office, and you can come up anytime you want, give you a place to come. You can come sit in the office, you can watch film, you can do whatever. You can sit there and watch television and watch ESPN. I'd like to put you an office in there. How about that? And I think Coach Cal said it in the media, but it didn't really get a lot of, and this wasn't like a fake thing. This wasn't like a laughing, like, hey, I'll get you an office. He was like, Coach, I'll get you an office, give you somewhere to come to every day. How about that? And, of course, Coach didn't do it, but it was a great gesture, and he's always calling. He'll call Coach, or he'll call me and say, hey, I called Coach last night and invited him to practice today. Will you double-check and see if you need to go get him, because I'd like him to come to practice today. And he's been that way really ever since he's got here. It's been really nice to watch that.
Because, Z, I've heard secondhand, that's not all, and I'm not talking necessarily about just basketball, but that's not always the case, whether it's Arkansas Athletics Department or anywhere else. When you have a Hall of Fame coach and you've got a new coach coming in, that's not always the case. So that's a cool gesture on Coach Calipari's part, and I think anytime that Arkansas fans see Nolan Richardson on campus, they're happy. But to your initial point about this team getting better, I mean, you're 2 games in SEC play, the first time they've been 2-0 in the conference since 2014, 2015. Z, what's the ceiling of this team, man?
It is a feel of a team that, first of all, for the players and the coaches, they think that they're only going to get better and that they're going to win every game. I mean, they are confident, but they're still humble about it, and they're very, very determined, and I love that. And I think that I look like at injuries. Like last summer when they first got here, 2024, there was all these guys out. We've talked about this before. And then during the course of the season, I don't know, we lost like 50 games of players being out. You know, I'm talking about your rotation players. Last year we had 9 guys. You multiply that times 36 games we played. How many games do you miss out of that? And that's always something to watch. Well, we missed a lot of games last year with Adu being out and Boogie being out, and other guys missing one game here or one game there. And this year, we've knock on wood, these guys they've stayed healthy. They're determined to stay healthy when they have an injury and some of them have been hurt when they've had something going on. Now it hadn't been like a broken thumb like Boogie had. He couldn't play. He had broken. Just the chum got shattered. But when these guys have been able to fight through things and stay, I mean, we have missed 2 games, and here we are through 15 games, and we've only missed 2 games. Trevin missed 1, and Carter missed game number 1 when he was hurt. So he tore his toe up, and so we've only missed 2 games. These guys have stayed available. I'm not saying they're competing against each other, but they just know it's a battle for minutes as well. Now, if you're Darius Acuff, you're not worried about minutes. If you're Malik Thomas, you're not worried about minutes. But there are still 3 or 4 of them in that 8-man rotation, knowing that, hey, I might play 10 minutes, I might play 30 minutes. So I got to make sure I'm ready to go for my opportunity. Malik Ewan's a prime example of that. There's been games he's played 30 minutes or more. There's been games he's played 9 minutes and 11 minutes. And these guys don't want to miss. They don't want to miss practice, and they don't want to miss games. I think that's a telltale sign how motivated these guys are.
We're talking with Matt Zimmerman, analyst for the Arkansas Razorback basketball radio broadcast here on the Morning Rush. Z, we asked this question earlier, our audience. I know you've watched a lot of college basketball live film. Is there a good comp for Darius Acuff in your mind? There's a lot of different players that Cal's coach guard-wise that are fantastic. You don't have to be a Cal guy, but do you have a comp for Darius and kind of who he reminds you of?
Well, early on, like in the summertime when I'd watch Darius, he was built a little bit, well, him and DJ were so similar, like in the summer with their build, and both of them trying to drive it all the time. And then he just put his foot on the gas pedal and accelerated. No offense to DJ, but he just accelerated to another level. And then once we got to the games, he accelerated even more. But you can even see it by like September, October, before we got into the exhibition season, that he was passing all these guys. And there's some things he does that remind me of Eric Bledsoe, who was a Birmingham, Alabama kid that we tried to recruit that played for Cal. Yeah. There's things he does that remind you of John Wall with his ability to drive so hard. He does things how he can drive and get those scoop layups from different angles that remind you of a bigger version of Isaiah Thomas, who was a great Detroit Piston. Mm-hmm. But the thing that separates him, Ty, is he just shoots it so well, just like Isaiah Thomas did. It didn't matter if it's an 8-footer, a 16-footer, a 26-footer. Every time he shoots it, you think it's going in. In Arkansas, everyone wants to compare him to Lee Mayberry, which was it's a great comparison. Lee was a first-round draft pick. He's going to go much higher than Lee did. But Lee was on teams with Todd Day and Oliver Miller and Lindsey Howell, and it was the winningest class we've ever had. They won 7 out of 8 conference championships, Southwest Conference and SEC. The conference tournament and conference regular season, he won 7 of 8. He was a winner, and Darius has a lot of that as well.
You mentioned his shooting. Z, it's not just his; it's the team. I never thought I'd say this in SEC play, but Arkansas is number 1 team right now in 3-point shooting, top 15 in all of college basketball. Did you get a sense of that watching this team in practice in the offseason, that they were going to be this prolific shooting the basketball?
Yeah, you really could see they could shoot. I remember like 2 weeks into June, they get here like Memorial Day weekend. They have about a week where they've got to go through physicals and do stuff. So it's probably June 2nd, 3rd, 4th every year when they're starting practice. And it wasn't even June 15th. And I was over there watching them on a nice afternoon. They'd had camp that day for youth, and they had practice after. And I'm sitting there watching that, and they were just making everything. And Coach Bruiser Flynn, who's awesome, and he's funny, and he says what's on his mind. He comes waddling over there, and he looked at me and he said, "We making everything." I said, "Making everything, Coach." And he said, "We ain't playing no defense." And so he was down on the defense, but you got to be able to make the shots. It's like when I was interviewing Coach Cal the other night after the game for the post-game radio show, and he said I was bragging on Darius for these pinpoint passes with guys draped all over him, hitting Trevin Brazile right in the shooting pocket in the right corner, hitting Carter Knox in the right place, hitting Trevin again in the corner again, and hitting Malik Thomas several times right in the shooting pocket, lead him into shots. And Cal said, yeah, that's great. He has to do that. But the biggest thing is you got to be able to make that shot. And that was, obviously he's right. And you can make the best passes in the world. You can run the best offense in the world. But you got to be able to have guys that can shoot it. And Arkansas is just shooting to cover off the basketball. And Ole Miss, Chris Beard is a supposed defensive coach. He's got a defensive mentality. Guess what Tennessee is? Defensive-minded, tough, aggressive. They're lighting it up against those guys. Tennessee's really, really good. Ole Miss is not great. I'm not going to fool you. But they're going to win some games. They got Missouri this weekend. That'll be interesting. But Tennessee, they're going to win a lot of games. They're good. And they got a great guard. But being able to shoot the basketball. Of course, Hubie Brown always said it. One of the first clinics I ever went to as a young coach at Plainview Schools was him, and it was in Kansas City, Missouri, and he said, shooting makes up for a multitude of sins. And then I would hear him say it on TV when he was an analyst all the time, and he's so right. No matter what you do, no matter what breaks down, no matter what you're doing on the defensive end, you got to be able to put that ball in the basket. You better be able to shoot it. And Arkansas can score it around the basket with layups and attacks and dunks. Arkansas can hit mid-range, and Arkansas's got a lot of guys that are three-point threats.
Coach Z, this is Colton Little filling in for Tommy Kraft this morning here on the Morning Rush. Coach, one of the players.
Colton?
How's it going, Coach Z? Good to hear from you this morning.
Hey, it's at least you got an easy one to follow.
Yes.
You're following Tommy, so there's no pressure.
The shoes aren't that big, no matter how much he likes to think so. He wears multiple pairs of socks every day.
Small foot Z.
Yeah. Coach Z, one of the players that's really improved their shooting stroke in the offseason, and it's been on display all year, is Billy Richmond. He's become a lot more efficient. He's a fan favorite as well. What have you seen from him in the summer and in the offseason that maybe has you thinking that, hey, Billy's going to have a lot bigger year this year? He's kind of an afterthought when it comes to scoring when you have so many great players like Darius and Malik, both of them Maliks, and Carter Knox. But what have you seen from Billy Richmond this year that you noticed has been a big improvement, and where do you see him fitting in on the rotation throughout the rest of the year?
He's another guy. To me, his improvement really started when the season ended last year. He probably took 2 weeks of not doing anything. But I remember when there was not many people around the gym, April, May, and they're not doing practices at that time. It was one of the few times a year they're not doing practices. Guys are leaving. You got guys going NBA draft. You got guys in the transfer portal. And so we knew we were going to have 4 guys come back after a few weeks. But Billy was in that gym, and he was the first one that you would see when you would go in there. He was always there. And I think that he knew, man, I can do a lot of things in college basketball, but I just went through a season. I made 2 3-pointers, and you're not going to play in the NBA that way. Even Herb Jones, that's who Billy Richmond is to me, Herb Jones. If y'all remember Herb Jones, about the same size. He played at Alabama. He was an Alabama native, and he was the SEC Player of the Year on one of those SEC championships that Nate Oates had. And Herb Jones was an outstanding player. And Herb got to where he was a 3-point threat. And he's made a lot of money playing in New Orleans for the Pelicans. And he has developed that shot, and that's what Billy has done. I think Billy knows that for me to play at the next level, for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I've got to be able to hit some shots. And he's done that, and he's put the time in. I think had he worked on shooting when he was in high school in Memphis, and then when he went to New Jersey and was up there, of course he did, but not like this. And I think he's realized I can play in the NBA, but I'm not going to play in the NBA with what I'm shooting at right now. And I think he's gotten more confident. And the coaches never told him not to shoot as poorly as he shot it last year. They even in the conference tournament, remember he was heaving up those threes, and I closed my eyes. And he would miss. And Coach Cal would, if he missed, Coach Cal would step 1 foot. Coach Cal would step 1 foot out towards the court, and he'd clap and he'd say, "Okay." And he'd point at him, and I'm like, "Time to quit shooting." And you know what? He believed in him. And Kenny Payne and those guys, they never told him to quit shooting. And he worked on his game, and now we got this serious. Now when he shoots, you think it's going to go in.
You're always getting an in-depth perspective from our buddy Matt Zimmerman with us this morning here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Z, did y'all have his dad's wing place when y'all stayed in Memphis this week?
What?
Did y'all have his dad's? You know his dad owns Wing Guru in Memphis.
Yeah. No, we did not. Of course, the team flew right to Auburn. Right to Oxford. And normally we go with them, but on this trip, some of us were driving. I rode with Riley Hall, and we took some of the student managers and Jack Parker, and we left early Tuesday morning so we'd be there when the team got there so we could rebound and stuff for them when they got to do the shoot-arounds, because the rest of the managers stayed here for Tuesday practice, and then they went on a bus. And so, but we did stop in Memphis on the way down. We didn't stop. I mean, Riley had the pedal to the metal, and I didn't know I could go 5 hours without peeing anymore at my age. But we went all the way to Memphis, and then we stopped at. I almost had to crawl out of that SUV, and we stopped at Blues City.
Good
grill,
good pit
cafe.
stop. Yes, sir. Good pit
yeah,
stop,
you know, right there at the top of Beale Street. You know what I'm talking about? Right there on the corner, and we stopped there. One of our student managers, Harrison Kane, his dad's one of the owners of Blue City, man. It was awesome. They took care of it. We had ribs, had some chicken, had incredible sides. Really good spot.
That is a fantastic spot. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Riley's a good hooper, too. I don't know how much pickup y'all get to play now, but just from the old college days. And he's a smart kid. He married a little Russian girl, so smart guy on that part.
That's right. I was a little part of that deal because I knew London before Riley did, and I was
You
kind
set
of
it
a
up,
little
Z?
part of that.
You set it up?
I was part of it.
Match
Raylan Davis was the first one to tell me about London because she was a big basketball fan. So I knew of London because of Raylan Davis, and they were in the same sorority. And then so I got to know London, and then introduced her to Riley, not having any idea. Matter of fact, I was just trying to help her get a ride to Ole Miss for a game one time, ironically. And she ended up not riding with Riley, but he saw her up in the stands at the pavilion at Ole Miss, and his old eyes started batting. He said, "Is that the girl that was going to ride with me?" And I said, "That's her." And the rest is history, as they said, 2 kids later.
Oh man, I'm sure that he's gonna get a hard time about that in the locker room at some point. Colton asked you about Billy, Z. It's not just Billy. What impresses me about this team is the buy-in coming off the bench from Malik Thomas, Malik Ewan, and Billy. Like Billy's just he's gonna be a utility belt. He's gonna be a Swiss Army knife. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win. But when you have like a freshman phenom like Malik Thomas, and you have a guy Malik Ewan that is capable of a double-double. How have you seen Cal being able to convince them, hey, this is what we got to do to win. We need y'all coming off the bench?
It's been really good. He's so good with the players, and he's smart how he does it with Malik Thomas from the get-go. Now, I don't think in August, September, October, he knew for sure who was going to start and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think by that time he was already formulating this, Malik Thomas, you're Devin Booker. And he has a great ability to relate to these guys and relate them and compare them and get them lined up with some of his former great players. And we're not talking about just good players. We're talking about the Anthony Davises of the world, Karl Anthony Towns, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker, all of his great ones. And he will, he doesn't sit there and tell Darius Acuff, hey, you are John Wall, but he will utilize all that in his toolbox. And I think with Malik, he was able to. Devin Booker came off the bench for us. Mm-hmm. He was one of the best players in the country, and he's turned into a great NBA player, an all-star. And he came off the bench for us at Kentucky, and he was tremendous. And he was. We coached against him. I coached against those teams. And they had so much talent that you got, one of the top high school players in the country who immediately was one of the best college players in the country. And I think Coach Cal's able to sell that. I've done this before. Hey, I've done this. I had a great player, just like you, come off the bench that was a microwave oven, scoring professional like yours. His name's Devin Booker. And, of course, Malik Thomas knows who that is, looks up to that, and it's an easy sell. You know what I like, Ty, is that most every game, when he puts those 3 guys in, they go in at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There'll be 18-10 to go in the first half, or 16-10, or whenever Cal decides to pull the trigger, and he puts all 3 of them in at the same time. And to me, Billy Richmond's the 6th man. But then in the second half the other day, first sub is Malik Ewan. He's a 6th man. But other than that, especially the first half, and most of the time in the second half, he just subs all 3 of them at the same time. And if he does put a Malik Ewan in early, because he got frustrated with Nick for a second to start the second half, he put Malik Ewan in. A minute and a half later, he puts Billy and Malik Thomas in at the same time. Mm-hmm. And there's never the third one just sitting there waiting on his chance. He keeps them engaged, and he pumps them up. On our radio show the other day, I think he said we got we lead the nation in bench scoring. Well, we don't quite, but we're up there. And we have it way up there. I mean, these guys come in and get you 35 points, 38 points, and it's amazing the bench production we have. And you look at, and I don't know if it's because of NIL and money and revenue share, but you look at some of these really good teams, high-level college teams, and they're playing 6 or 7. And, even Texas Tech,
6 guys.
they got 2 great players, play 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that throughout a whole season. They'll wear down. J.T. Toppin can't play 40 minutes every game. He will wear down to some level, to some degree. And so just having 8. And then we also got in our back pocket Isaiah Seeley, who's very talented and is going to have a chance to be a really good player. He's our 9th man, and he's sitting there just ready for an opportunity.
And they love him, too. Z, great stuff. I remember that Kentucky team. Tyler Eulis was also on that team. That was the most annoying team. We had Bobby and Michael in like a great team that year, and they ran into a buzzsaw.
Carl Anthony Towns, Willie
Lyles,
Stein.
Studs. Great. Hey, speaking of that, before you let me go, the last night we were at the women's game, and Tyler came over. Tyler Eulis, I was glad to see him.
Got 10 seconds,
the ladies. And Bobby Portis' mom was there.
Let's go.
And I introduced Tyler Eulis to Bobby Portis' mom. They had a great conversation.
Heck yeah. Z, we'll see you in Auburn tomorrow, okay?
Okay. All right, buddy.
That's Matt Zimmerman, great guy, Arkansan, and a Razorback through and through. Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Big C is next.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates.